Hi everyone, Space Cowboy here. This is the second time starting this off. I had started Lego Batman a few moments ago and the game crashed in the opening hub world. I was playing as Martian Manhunter, Green Lantern. We were about to walk through a door and the sound just hitched and the game crashed. So yeah, part 5 of Lego Batman 3 Beyond Gotham. Currently we're in the Batcave. We have to fix up the rocket to go to the we have to fix up the rocket to go to the watchtower in space because the teleporters are out of order. So let's pull up the silver stuff with this suit on. So currently the day I am playing this is the day after the Oscars, and you might be thinking, well, why is that significant? Because Suicide Squad won an Oscar, and as someone pointed out on the internet, because Suicide Squad won an Oscar, it means that a DC movie has actually picked up an Oscar before a Marvel movie. Now, I'm not sure how true that is. That might not be true. There might be like an effects or something that a Marvel movie won. I'm not sure. But if that's true, that's quite fascinating considering how poor the DC movies are in comparison. Don't get me wrong, I love Suicide Squad for the characters, and I love Batman vs Superman for Ben Affleck's performance. The plot itself was trash, but it was a good interpretation of Batman. There was also, some really good fight scenes with Batman and Superman. It kind of was like The Dark Knight Returns comes to life, although the animated 2-part movie is far superior. It's very strange that Suicide Squad won that Oscar. I almost feel like I think someone must have been taking the mickey or something, because it won for best makeup, and that doesn't make any sense to me because it wasn't that good. A lot of people hated the look of the Joker. I'm not one of them, because one of my big things about every time a new Batman cartoon series or a new comic comes out or a new movie, what you're seeing is not someone sticking to the canon. They're making their own canonical version of what happened in their own universe. So this Joker isn't the same Joker that put Barbara Gordon in a wheelchair and did all those things. This is a completely different Joker you're seeing here. That's not to say he hasn't done some of those things in their world, but he's not done it exactly like the comics say. And I find that quite refreshing. It's like when people talk about Arrow or the Flash deviating from the main canon. Well, they're creating their own canon. Marvel Universe is doing the same thing. X-Men are doing the same thing. They've diverted worlds in that because Brett Ratner made X-Men 3 and Bryan Singer hated it because he went off to do Superman, so he didn't do the third X-Men movie. That after doing 2 really good X-Men movies in X-Men 1 and X-Men 2, he didn't do part 3, and Brett Ratner came in and did it, and I'll be honest, I didn't like X-Men 3. I thought X-Men 3 was trash. It didn't have any of the good character development that 1 and 2 had. So, he didn't like that. So he decided that when he decided to come back and do X-Men with Days of Future Past, he's like, and this is his own quote, I need to fix all the mistakes that X-Men 3 had. And how did he do it? He rewrote the entire universe by having a time travel story where Wolverine went back and altered everything.
Finish cleaning that glass, sir?
And that's fascinating to me that he decided that's how I'm going to do it, and it worked. Because he jumps into his body and he sees everyone still alive. Like Cyclops is still alive, and Jean Grey's still there, Rogue is there, and she's still got her powers because you see her wearing the gloves. All of that stuff is brilliant, because it's like, it takes you back. You know, Xavier's still alive. He's not being killed by Jean Grey's Phoenix persona, which I hated. Quick side diversion. When I was working, I started my first real job, not the video shop I worked in. My first real job was in
Out of fuel.
What? But how do we get this thing to the gas station?
Robin, we have fuel. We just need to hook it up to the rocket.
so like I say, I was working in a cinema, and the cinema I worked in, I'll be honest, it wasn't very busy. I was working during, not the summer period, because it was during like the period where kids were at school, and during the day it just wasn't very busy. And there was one day where I was working the front desk, and when you're at the front desk there isn't a lot you can do. It's not like you can clean up things or restock things. You just sort of sit at the computer, you take calls, and you sell people tickets when they come in. So I was sitting one day, and one of the guys who was there, had been there previously, had left a book behind. And it was, I can't remember what they call it. It was a series of Marvel books where they reprinted all the stories in order, but in black and white to save money. So what this guy had was the first volume of Chris Claremont's X-Men comics. And that's where Wolverine was introduced, where, you know, like Colossus came into it, all these characters that, you know, you knew, you were like, my god, these guys are here. You know, this isn't the X-Men, you know, that Stan Lee created, because Stan Lee created very few of the original X-Men, the ones that you know and love. He created Havoc and Angel, and to be fair, it wasn't great. It wasn't until Chris Claremont came onto the X-Men, he defined what the X-Men actually was. And I love Stan Lee, I'm a big Stan Lee fan, but he did not create the X-Men that people love today. And I read that first volume of X-Men comics and it was amazing. It made me go buy volumes 2 and 3, and I loved the story progressed through volumes 2 and 3 of the Dark Phoenix storyline, where Jean Grey got these powers where she became Phoenix, and it was, I'll be honest, it was an amazing story, especially how it built up and what they did to that in X-Men 3, the movie X-Men 3. I hated it. I hated every single goddamn second of it, because they took a story that had so much potential, and to use the parlance of it, they pissed it away. They thought Brett Ratner, who isn't good at characters, is good at action scenes. So that's what he did. He just created a bunch of action scenes and had Jean Grey in the background kind of watching it going, oh, I'm very powerful, and it's like, okay, you're gonna kill a few people. And they I don't know, I mean, I don't know if like Bryan Singer and Brett Ratner felt like didn't like Cyclops or something, but they took Cyclops as one of the more interesting characters. Not because he's a good character, he's interesting. Because he's not your typical good guy. He is very jealous. He is very, what's the exact word for it? Selfish. But you get invested in him, because you see what he's doing wrong, and he knows he's wrong when he's doing it, but he, like, excuse me.
Just need to attach the top of the rocket.
One of the
How are we gonna get up there?
I can use the jetpack to reach it. My spacesuit should be
the
around here
spacesuit.
somewhere.
But the thing is, there's like, Jean Grey dies, Okay, she dies. She kills herself as Phoenix. She reverts back to her old self, and she's like, right, well, I obviously, that I need to die, because she ended up killing people, killing a whole planet. Actually, I think it was like a whole system. She ended up wiping off the map, and what happened was is she decided she killed herself. So Cyclops was left without, Jean Grey was his everything, and she died, and he felt he was responsible. So, the story kind of goes from there, and along the way he meets a couple of other female, people in the X-Men universe, like not mutants, they're just other characters, and he like gets into like relationships with them and things, and it's very interesting because you feel, oh my god, he's actually forming bonds with these people. And one of them actually, is like, you need to come visit me, and she gives him a key to her house, basically saying, look, you can fly here in your jet whenever you want. Here's a key to my house. I think we have something. Let's do it. And he has that opportunity. And because some kind of clone of Jean Grey, it isn't really her, but it's close enough for him, he ditches all that and is like, you know what, I love Jean Grey, and she's back. For better or worse, she's back, so this is what I'm going for. And they throw that away, he throws that away because of his love for Jean Grey, and that's what's interesting to me, because it's like, he knows she's not really her. It can't be, and I don't know how they resolved that, because Jean Grey is rocking about in the comics just now. I mean, she's been alive and dead and alive, and he's been with Emma Frost and everything. I couldn't tell you what's happening in that thing now. I really couldn't, because the X-Men series gets so diluted and so convoluted, and they had to go for big shocks, so they were resurrecting every mutant you thought was dead, and it was actually quite ridiculous after a while. You were like, you're like, really? You're bringing her back, or you're bringing him back? I mean, the biggest thing now is that Wolverine's back. Wolverine's dead. And that's what the new Wolverine movie's about. Logan is Old Man Logan storyline. And I know there's a female Wolverine running about just now, but I guarantee, give it a year, maybe two, Logan will be back. Old Man Wolverine, it'll turn out he's in a pocket dimension somewhere or some crap like that, because they can't leave anyone dead. And do you know what? It's a staple of a new writer comes into a comic, like he takes over from where someone left over, and he's like, right, okay, this writer, he didn't like this character, that was my favourite character, so I'm going to resurrect my favourite character because that's who I want to write. And what you're left with is the X-Men universe was the same. It was very all over the place, because they had 3 different lines of comics. You had New Mutants, you had X-Force, all these different things.
Never mind. I can use the jetpack now.
So, it's one of those things, is like, you've got, Cyclops is one of the better characters in X-Men. He's interesting in that way. Not a character you want to be your favourite, because nothing he ever does is for the best of the team. He kind of does everything for himself, but he is, he's unashamed about it though. That's the thing. He's like, I know, what's happened here is my fault, but I was in love with Jean Grey and she was my everything. So, in the movies he was given such short shrift. Like in the first movie, it's like, I'm the leader, but but it was a Wolverine show in that movie, and it's because he was the most interesting character in that story, and it was an introduction to him. In the second part, oh my goodness, he's in it for like 10 minutes and turns up at the end to fight Jean Grey, and then he's dead again, and no, he's not dead. Jean Grey kills herself, and then all through the third movie that Cyclops is in the third movie, barely in it, but when he is in it, he's like, he's crying all the time because Jean Grey's dead, and it's like, oh, seriously, and then Jean Grey kills him, and it's like, and James Marsden's a good actor, and it's like, you've got this good actor in to play this role, and the only thing you can do with them is this. Didn't like that, and that's why I liked. That's why I like Apocalypse, in the sense that they're actually making Cyclops a bit better in Apocalypse. It's not great, but it's better than it was. I don't know if they're going to keep that going though, because I know Bryan Singer's basically said he's out, and I think that was it. He was like, First Class, Days of Future Past and Apocalypse for their own little trilogy, and I know Patrick Stewart's definitely said, I'm not doing any more. Old Man Logan was my last one, so, you know, very bizarre. Also, what's bizarre is I'm playing a movie about Batman, and I've spent the entirety of it talking about X-Men. So my apologies. Yeah, so as far as, you know, the whole canonical thing goes, you know, I think it's good when cinematic universes create their own little chronology and cinema and like stuff, because you can't stick slavishly to the comics, because the comics are ridiculous. The Shi'ar Empire in X-Men was just stupid, and I'll be the first to admit it, but they're a big part of the Dark Phoenix saga, and they're like, you know, they're part of the reason that, you know, Charles Xavier is like the way he is now, because of the Shi'ar Empire, but I never liked it. So, fly over there. But
My laser can cut a
so
shape
basically,
out of the
what's happened is that we've got Suicide Squad with an Oscar now. I guarantee, if you go look for Suicide Squad in the shops in the next couple of days, it's gonna have Oscar winner stickers over it or something, because they are gonna flaunt that to the moon, because that movie was critically panned, but it's won a goddamn Oscar. And I guarantee they're going to take every chance they can to show that up, because Marvel sure as hell ain't won an Oscar. And that's what's going to be their big thing, because the Marvel universe, like the universe they're doing just now, is pretty good.
Well, when you're the one with the laser, you can decide what shape to cut.
So let's get behind here. Why can't I? So... Oh no, we're going to do a Tron segment.
We need the security access code. We'll have to override the bat computer.
One second, I want to go behind here. Why isn't it letting me go behind there? Do I need Robin to go behind there or something? Let's try just Batman. I think it might be his suit's too bulky. No, I think there might be a way to do it, but like the Marvel universe at the moment, where I am in the story, like where we are cinematically, Doctor Strange was the last movie out. So I think the next one in this storyline is Guardians of the Galaxy 2, then I think Thor 3. I could be wrong. I'm all mixed up with these stories because so many different things are happening in them. But yeah, it's cinematic universe we've created. DC's universe is trash. They're gonna need to do a lot with Justice League and Wonder Woman to really fix that, because yeah, it's not very good. I really have a distaste for the villain in Suicide Squad. The villain was some kind of mythical beast-like thing, and I was just shaking my head at it, because I'm thinking, you've got a perfectly credible villain in Joker. Have him as the villain. I mean, why not have the Joker as villain? Because, and that's what they made it feel like in the trailer, because you've got the Suicide Squad showing up at this place, and Harley Quinn's there, and all you hear is that laugh that Jared Leto made. And that was a great laugh, Joker laugh that he did, and you just saw her go, uh-oh, and you got the feeling of like, they're here to get the Joker, and he knows they're there, but instead, she's trying to get to the Joker. So it's very strange. I didn't like their villain. I thought it was a really bad choice of villain, especially considering you're setting up the DC universe, you're setting up a new franchise with Suicide Squad. It was trash. I felt Doomsday was wasted in Batman vs Superman. They had a perfectly good story with just Batman feeling that, you know, this guy is powerful enough to levelicity. I don't trust him. Lex Luthor pits them together. You did not need the Doomsday subplot in there. That could have been 3 movies along. And spoilers, you didn't need the death of Superman in this movie, because you knew he wasn't dead. You were just like, well, he's going to be back in the next movie, Justice League, he'll be there. We've already announced Justice League's coming and Superman's going to be there. Henry Cavill signed on for at least 5 more movies, so they didn't need that. It served no purpose to the plot except to create some kind of false drama, and it was false drama because nobody at the end of that movie, not one person who watching it, believed, well, that's Superman dead. He's not going to be in the later movies because they're going to do a Man of Steel 2. There's, you know, he's going to be in Justice League. He's going to show up in the other movies, like his little cameos here and there. So, you know, they didn't need it.
All right, did it.
So, yeah. So as I said, that wasn't needed. And the reason I've just been talking about like cinematic universe and things, because this level is kind of boring. You're fixing the bat rocket.
Let's get moving.
Whoopee.
Careful, Saz. Don't worry, Alfred.
We've already done another level in the Batcave, and I thought it was pretty lame to do that. So yeah, let's get Batman here. Spacesuit on. We're going to space. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to stop the video here. I'll continue in the next video, keep going. I think we go into the next level, but I don't want to end the video here in case a cutscene plays, so I'll end it here and check out the next one, which will be the continuation of this story. Thanks very much for watching.